Welcome to the Python programming series. In this today episode 7, we will study about OOPS, object-oriented programming in Python. In the previous episode, we studied about tuples, list, sets, and dictionary. In this episode, we will study about OOPS, which is a very important concept in Python. So let's dive right into it. Now, I'm using the Jupyter notebook as usual. So you may be wondering, why does OOP exist? We have been writing code as list of instructions from top to bottom. That works for small programs. But imagine building something like a school management system with 500 students, each having a name, age, marks, and action like calculating grade or printing result. Watch what happens without OOP. You create a student named Rahul, student age 20, student marks 85, and you created student 2 with name, age, and marks. Now imagine you have to create 500 students like this, which would be very exhausting. So this is why we use OOPS in Python. OOPS let you create a blueprint for a student and then create as many as you want from that blueprint. The blueprint is called a class. Each student created from it is called an object. Now I will teach you how. Now we come to part 2, class and object. Now we will study how we can define our class. So class is defined like this. So this is class, this is a keyword class, and this is the name of class. And I have made a class named student by typing class student and with the indentation mark. This is very important. You should always put the indentation mark, and inside this indentation mark you should define the methods. So in this pass means this class is empty for now. To just show you the illustration how the class work. So inside this class, it is empty. So I have created two objects. So this S1 is called object, S2 also a object, which takes the value from class by calling the class. So it stores the value of class by storing it. This is called object S1 and S2. And when you do print type S1, it will show that class main student. Now, this is basically an instance of class, you can see. Now in class, so I will show you by running it. When you print type S1, it will come class main student. Now, code number 2, adding data to object. Class student is in here is pass. Now you can add data to object. In this, data was empty as you can see, but in this you can add data. So I have created an object S1 student. Now I can add data into object by doing S1 dot notation dot name. So I want to store dot name is equal to Rahul, and S1 dot age is 20 in this object S1. So as you can see, I stored S1 dot name Rahul. So this is how you can add data to objects. And I have created second object S2, and in this S2 I have added another name Priya, and I have added S2 dot age 19. And when you print it, you can see the output. I will show you Rahul 20, Priya 19. Now in this, we manually added data to object by creating S1 dot name to Rahul, S1 dot age to 20. But you don't have to do in this code number 2. You don't have to do if you use init method. This is where init method come to use. In init method, you don't have to type out the value data to objects one by one. Instead, you can create a init method inside a class def init self name age marks and store it in this value. So you can create create a object S1, and in this class instance student you can store the value. Basically what init does, it stores the data. It is basically storing the data, so you can use it anywhere. So I've created S1 student Rahul 20 Priya. In this Rahul is name, 20 is age, and 85 is marks. S2 student Priya 19 Priya is name, age is 19, and marks is 92. And as you can see, the S1 refers to self, and S2 also refers to self. The self basically store the object. So when you access self, it will go to inside that object and read the value, and it will store the value. So as self dot name will store self dot it will store Rahul, and self dot age will store the age. Self dot marks will store the 85. As for it will store for S2 also like this. And when you do S1 dot name, first it will go to that object dot name, and it will access the value inside self, and it is Rahul. So S1 dot name is Rahul, S1 dot marks is 85. For it works same for the S2 also. S2 will access the name in this name, and it also access the name in the marks. So this is how you can use init method, which is very important. So init you define init method by using def keyword and double underscore I init and double underscore, and it is the parameter you can see self name age marks. This is a init method. So I will show you by running it. Rahul 85, Priya 92. You can see. Now, you may be wondering what is self. Self is basically nothing. It just belongs to the object. As you can see here, there are two objects S1 and S2. So self refers to the objects we have created. So self dot name belongs to this both the object. This stores the value of the object inside the self. Basically, what self does is whenever you input the object values, it stores that object values inside the self. So that is what self do. Using the self dot name is name and self dot age is age. And when you do print s1 dot name, it will go to s1 dot name and access the value inside the s1 object Rahul s1 name. So that is what self basically means. It is basically refers to the object we have created. So you don't have to manually type it out like this. You can see s1 dot name s1 dot age. Instead, you create a init method and store. So you put the self value and it all, and store the value of object. I will show you by now. As you can see, the output is Rahul and Priya. If I do, let me add by adding this code. I will print age also. Now when I print it, you can see I can access age also, 20 and 19 by object dot age. So s1 dot age means self dot age. It will go to this init method and obtain the value from the object. This is how it works. Now in class, you can add many more methods. For now, we talked about init method only. So in code number 5, we talk about adding method. In class student, you see, I have defined init method, self name marks, which stores the object values as I discussed earlier. I have di- created another method get grade. So this is how you can make another method by putting grade, and this self belongs to the init method. It will obtain the value from the init method, and you can use the values from init method inside this method get grade. So I have defined get grade self. Uh, self dot marks comes from the init method. If self dot marks is greater than equal to 90, return a else self dot. As we can see, there are many conditions based on the self marks of a student, and I have developed another method introduce, which basically prints the self dot name and self dot get grade. So basically, this is inheritance, and sorry, basically this obtains the value from the get grade method. So you can use one method inside another method. This is what is interesting about object oriented programming. And I have created two objects S1 and S2 which stores the value, and when I do print S1 dot get grade, it will first go to the get grade method and check it. For example, uh, uh, 85 is the marks. It will check if 85 is bigger than equal to 90. No. 85 bigger than equal to 75. Yes. So it will return B, and when you print it, it will show B. And when you do S2 dot introduce, it will go to inside this method, and it will print I am self dot name Priya, because we have used S2 here. So I am Priya and my grade is self dot grade, which will first, this method means it will go to the get grade method again and check the value of this 55. And here you can see, uh, and if when you check 55 for this condition, it will print else, which is written F, and it will check I am Priya and my grade is F. This is how this works. And the most important thing about it is you can use another method inside method, like we used in self dot get grade, as you can see. I will show you by running it. So you can see output is exactly matching the comment. Now I will move to the next code number 6, method that changes data. Now in method, you can change data also. Now I have created a class bank account. Wait a minute guys, I will take 1 minute break. Okay, I'm back. So in this code number 6, we talk about how method can change data. So in this, you can see I've created a class bank account with the init method owner balance using self attribute. Self dot owner is owner, self dot balance is balance. Now when you do def deposit, I've created a deposit method which basically self basically inherits value from this init method. So I have taken self dot balance, and amount exists only in this method, deposit method. So I can do I can change data of balance, like as you can see in self dot balance I have is equal to self dot balance plus amount. So this is how you can change data inside a method. So I have printed deposited amount new balance self dot balance. So this basically prints the updated balance after depositing, and like this I have created another method def withdraw self dot amount, and this amount is initiated in this parameter. If amount is bigger than equal to self dot balance, print not enough balance, else self dot balance is equal to minus self dot amount, balance minus amount, which will show the balance after withdrawing. So I will show you, we have created a object account, bank account travel 100, and when you do account dot deposit, it will first go to the deposit method, and the balance is 500 as you can see. Now, now the amount is balance is initially for wait balance is initially 1000. Okay, so when you go to this method, balance is 1000 and 1000 is plus 500. This is 500. Okay, because deposit amount is equal to 500, which goes to deposit method, and 1000 plus 500 is 1500, which will show print deposited 500, new balance is 1500. So this is how it works for like that. It works for withdraw method also. In withdraw, initial amount is 1000, and if 1000 is bigger than equal to 100, print not enough balance, or else it will deduct the balance amount from the amount. So balance here is 1000, and 1000 wait sorry, balance is 1500 because it will only take the recent balance because of the deposit method. So balance is 1500, and when you withdraw 200, the final new balance is 1300. So for like this account dot withdraw 2000, it will check first 2000 is bigger than equal to 1300. No, else. Uh, so yes, this condition is true because 2000 is not bigger than, sorry, 2000 is bigger than 1300, so it will print not enough balance. So this is how we can change data inside method or update values. I'll show you finally. As you can see, deposited 500, new balance 1500, withdrawn 200, new balance 1300, and not enough balance. It exactly matches the comment here. Now, we come to part number 5, inheritance. It is a very, very important concept in object oriented programming. So, we'll study about basic inheritance. We have defined a class animal and we have defined a init method here. So, and we have defined three methods inside this class animal: init method, eat method, and sleep method, which takes self dot name and print some values, is eating and is sleeping. And we have defined another class dog, which inherits the value from the animal, because inside this dog parameter we have typed animal, which inherits the value from animal. So when you, and inside this class dog we have defined a method def bark self, and when you do print self dot name, it will take the self dot name value from the class animal. So for example, here you can see dog is dog Tommy. Tommy will go to this class dog def bark, and self dot name will go to the class animal and get the name. So it will say Tommy says. So when you do dog dot eat, it will say Tommy is eating. And when you dog dot bark, it will go inside this class method bark, and it will say Tommy says woof. This is how you can inherit method from another class, and you can inherit one class inside another class. So this is what is very great about object oriented program. And I have created another class cat, which it's also inherits from animal. And when you do def we have created a another method inside this class cat meow, which says meow. So I've created a cat object, cat whiskers. It will go to whiskers. It will go to the cat method for the value. And when you do cat dot sleep, it will first go to this animal method, animal class, and go to this def sleep method and print whisker is sleeping. And when you do dot meow, it will go inside, wait, entrance, and I have created a object cat, and it inherits from the cat class cat whiskers. And when you do cat dot sleep, it will first go to this animal method, animal class, because, and go to inside this def sleep method, and it will print whisker is sleeping. And when you do dot meow, it will go to inside this class cat meow, and it will print whisker says meow. Now guys, we are done with inheritance, all the basic inheritance and the concept. Now we will move to code number 8, child adding to init. Now we saw how we inherited attributes from another class. As you can see, class animal, class dog, class cat. So in this code number 8, we will talk about child adding to init. So in this method, in this code, we have I have created a class animal with init method self dot comma name. Self dot name is name. So, and I've created another class dog which inherits the method from the animal. So, if you want to, if you define a init inside a child class, so basically class, this is parent class animal, and this class dog is a child class. If you want to define init inside a child class, then you must mandatorily use super dot init. So it will call parent and class animal, the parent class init first, then add data for the dog. So if you wish to use, remember, if whenever you wish to use init method inside child class basically means it inherits from its parent class. So as you can see, class dog is a child class, and it inherits from the parent class animal. So whenever you want to define init inside child class, you must always use super bracket dot init. So this is a mandatory rule, and then you can do your operations. Now here I have created object dog. Dog is Tommy, the name, and Labrador the breed. When you do print dog dot name, it will go to first this init. It will go to the super init and obtain the value from self dot name, and it will print. It will return Tommy. And when you do self dot breed, it will go inside this init method self dot breed and get the value Labrador. So this is how it works. Dog dot breed will only go inside this def super init method self dot breed, and this dog dot name first will go to super init, and this will go to the parent class self dot name and obtain the value. So the final result when you run it is Tommy and Labrador. As you can see, it is already executed. Now we will move to part number 6. Till now we have studied the most important topics: inheritance, methods, self, and all the init method, and all the important concept that you should know about object oriented programming. Now we will study about encapsulation. So encapsulation means only showing uh, encapsulation means only showing what is needed and hiding other data. So encapsulation only shows what is required and hide another data. So in this you can see it is about private variables. We have defined a class back account. In this we have defined a method init method, and this before we didn't use any underscore, but uh, without any encapsulation it would be like self dot balance only. But when you apply encapsulation, this double underscore means private variable. This self dot double underscore balance is private variable, and it cannot be accessed directly. Though basically means this balance self dot double underscore balance will only be accessed inside another method. For example, here I have defined a method get balance, and I return self dot balance, which basically obtains the value from this balance self dot double underscore balance. So when you call this get balance, as you can see, print account dot get balance, then you can get the value of the balance. But when you print account dot underscore balance directly from the init method, it will come error because it cannot access directly, because it is a private variable. A private variable can be only accessed inside another method, and when you call that method, only then private value will come. So I hope you understand. It is very simple. And I've created another method deposit self dot amount, and it takes the balance from the private variable here in init method, and calculates the balance, final balance. So you see, I have created object account, which from class bank account 1000 is the balance and balance value. And when you do get balance, it will first go to this get balance method and obtain the balance, and it will return the self dot double underscore balance, which will get from this init method. But when you directly try to obtain from init method, it will come error. So this is what private variable means. I hope you understand. As you can see, I got 1000 and with it an error. Bank, as you can see, bank account object has no attribute dot balance because it is an attribute error and cannot be accessed directly, as you can see. Now we are done with encapsulation, an important topic also. Now we are done with all the topics about object-oriented programming, encapsulation, inheritance, and we studied about init method, how can class inherit inside another class. We also studied about the super method, the super dot init of the child class, parent class. We also studied about how can we add method or update methods, and we studied about self, about the data object and why init method is useful. We I think we are done with this concept about object oriented programming. Now in this part 7 final part, we will put it together for a small program. In this, as you can see, I have created a class student with init method, and this is a normal variable and name is a normal variable inside this init method, and self.marks is a private variable, which means it can only be accessed inside another method like get marks or get grade or display. It cannot be accessed directly from init, and I have defined three methods alongside get marks, get grade, and display. Now I have created a student list of student with object. Students is the object with the list of many student. As you can see, student Rahul Priya, Rahul 88, Priya 95, with it name and marks, as you can see. Now I have used for loop concept for s in student. It will, for s means it will access every values here, student Rahul 88, Priya 95, and 55, and it will, and s dot display means it will go inside the display method and print the value. So here print is self dot name, marks is self dot marks, and grade is self dot grade. So as you can see, first we will check of Rahul for S in student. S will first check student Rahul 88. So Rahul is name, self dot name will get it value from the init method self dot name and will print Rahul. Marks, self dot marks, it is a private variable, so it will get it value from the init method self dot double underscore marks here, which will print Rahul, marks is 88, and grade self dot get grade is it will get it value from this get grade method by checking the condition of the marks. If marks 88 is bigger than equal to 90, return A, or bigger than equal to 75, return B. So this condition satisfies, so it will return B. So final result be like Rahul marks 88 grade B. This is how you can do for the rest too also. So this is how it works by adding it all together. So as you can see, by printing it, you can see the value Rahul marks 88 for this student, next student iteration, Priya 95 grade A, student Ahmed 55, marks is 55 and grade F. As you can see, this is how we use every concept inside a small program. I recommend you to practice this all code. I have shown you today, and I will send the code in the description box. Don't worry. So we are completed with object oriented program, the most important concept in Python also. So we are done with this today episode. So in the next episode, which is our last episode, episode 8, we will study about file handling and exception handling, which is also an important concept in Python. So, so we will meet in the next episode. Take care. Thank you.